what you did. Let's share in the comments and get this conversation going. Okay, so it's always like that awkward pause before you go live. I think I'm live. Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm AmandaMuse, and today we're going to just have a little live update, but also I'm going to share with you some of my thoughts on the most recent conference I attended and what I think about conferences in general, because they're all the rage, right? Hi. And then I'm going to give you a little update and like a little sneak peek as to something that I have planned and I'm hoping to roll out in the next few months. So basically before the year is out. You have to hold me to it. Okay. Let's just as usual. Oh, cool. Hello, friends. I see you there. Yay. Bailey, I'm glad you could make it too. All right. So, as usual, I'm always like, what settings? Let's figure this out. Hey guys, just give me a minute. I'm just getting so I can see your comments and things behind the scenes. Okay. Looks good. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Hi, Diana. Okay, so let's see. Monday. Just got back from Palm Springs on Friday. So in case you missed that, I have been in Palm Springs for the last week, and it was awesome. Although it did snow this weekend in Toronto. Well, where do I live? I live in Ontario, Southern Ontario. So that wasn't great. And I've got some questions about Joanna and my business with her. Okay, so let me just, what is happening? Okay, here's the questions. We're good. So what just happened? Okay, sorry, behind the scenes stuff. Okay, good, here we are. Okay, so let's just begin. So I just spent the last, I left on Sunday and I got home on Friday, which is a very long trip. Seriously, when you've got 2 little kids and a husband that generally travels. So that worked out really well. If at some point, by the way, the audio or the visual goes weird, just tell me and I will see it in the comments here. Yeah, Diana said, I loved all the Instagram photos. It looked like you had a fab time. I really did. But I will say that conferences in general mean different things to different people, and what you hope to get out of them can be very different for each person. And so I guess I'll just jump into that right now. So I went to a conference, it's called the Alt Summit, and I had heard about it in the past, but I'd never attended before. And what I got from it was kind of like a lot of creatives, so very Instagram worthy. The creator of the conference is like into design, and so I expected a lot of like creative kind of things happening and a lot of creative people. And I will say that there were a lot of those. Like there was a lot of makers, there was a lot of people in the DIY community, a lot of business owners. Lots of business coaches actually looking to get their business started, and not as many influencers. Don't love that word, but content creators. There weren't a lot of those. Some podcast hosts, authors. So it was really like a serious combination of a lot of different people. And so when I had thought about going, so this was like back in November, Joanna from Nesting Story reached out to me and she was like, girl, there's this conference coming. And what's it saying here? Well, hopefully this is working. I got a weird error message. Is it good? Let me see the comments. You guys aren't saying anything, so I think it's fine. So she reached out to me and was like, hey, there's this conference in March. Do you want to go? It's in Palm Springs. And I looked into it and I was like, I'm not actually familiar with a lot of the speakers, but I am looking to boost my creativity and to be inspired by people doing something very different than what I'm doing. And it's Palm Springs. So those 3 things together, let's go. So the conference, when I kind of like reflect, I definitely took some things away from it, but I think that may be the last one that I attend. It just was a little, okay, first of all, it was really long. It was 6 days, which is uncommon. It was a celebration, like a 10th anniversary type of thing. So it was a lot longer. There were some issues with it being spread out over 4 hotels. So I actually didn't take advantage of the meal cards. I ended up having to buy all my own meals because the person I was traveling with, our lunches didn't match up. And I was like, well, what? So it was a little bit, there were some like logistical issues. I didn't get to attend a lot of the sessions that I wanted to attend. They would fill up and I wasn't allowed in the room. So there were certainly things where I was definitely frustrated. That said though, is my vibe to attend every single session at a conference? What's going on? Oh no, we're good. No, that is not my vibe. I like to have a good balance of sessions. As someone who does this, who makes videos and this kind of stuff, or podcasting, now I'm like talking to you, but it's just me in my house, you know? When I have guests, if I'm lucky and they live in the neighborhood or they live in the area, I really just shoot the shit and talk about things that they find, you know, working for them in the industry. And exchange from Canadian to US, because I paid full price for that conference, was beneficial for me specifically. That said, a lot of people got a lot out of that conference. But I think what I've realized, so there's always like lessons learned, right? What I realized from this experience was I like a little luxury with my travel and adventure. So it's this like cross between, and I'm going to get to your questions because I see lots of comments coming, but it was a cross between like, I like free time to go and experience things. So if you followed my Instagram, I went to a freaking oasis, and I will get to that in a second, but it was like, it ignited that wanderlust, that adventure in me. And I was like, oh my God, I forgot that I love to do this. So I love the business element. I love, love, love networking. And let me tell you guys, I put myself out there. So just as an example, I was eating lunch one day and Joanna was in a conference, I think, and I'd been doing something else. And I was hungry. It might have been before lunch. I think I needed like a midday smoothie. So I end up at the restaurant and a woman sits beside me and a woman sits beside her. And I realized they were all wearing the tags. And I was like, hey, I'm Amanda. Introduced myself. And I was like, are you guys meeting anyone? And they said no. And I was like, come to my table. So the one came over and we sat down and we just started like visiting and sharing what it is that we do online. And one fascinating woman, I'm hoping to have her on my podcast very soon. And she speaks about like diversity and race. And she's based out of the States and she's a woman of color. And she really speaks to like, it's amazing. I don't want to give too much away because I'm hoping to have her on the podcast. And then another woman was just starting out. So you've got me who's been doing this for 7 years, this other woman who's been in it for a long time, and then just like a brand new person. And you all get to share. And I think that is one of the most beneficial things out of a conference. So I'm not going to like poo-poo on conferences in general because I think there is a lot to gain from them. And before I had ever attended a conference, P.S., my first one was the Mom 2 Summit, Mom 2.0, which I went, this will be my 3rd year going, and I speak at it now. That was my first conference, and Joanna had introduced me to it. And I wasn't sure that was totally my vibe, but now that I've been, I have made some amazing friends, like real friends, that I just, like, I can't wait to see when I go, because I'm going into Austin at the end of April, at the end of this month. And so, blah, 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 conferences are awesome. Let me look at some of the questions, because I have a feeling some of you, oh no, Rena, am I freezing? Okay, hold on. Let's see what's going on here. I'm freezing a little bit. Okay, let's see here. Give me a moment and let me see. I think my camera's too fast. That's what's happening. How do I fix that? Just a moment, you guys. I'm gonna see if I can fix this. Sorry that it's being a little bit of a pain in the butt. Oh, darn it. I feel like there's nothing I can do behind the scenes. Hey, I'm here. Sorry, it's freezing. I'm so annoyed. It's better now? Okay. Oh, I don't know what's happening. How do I fix it? Technology. Usually I'm so good at this. Okay, maybe if I'm moving my hands too quickly and all those things. Oh, for the love. Now I can't see the questions. Okay. Okay, I won't move too quickly. I'll move my computer over. Oh, this is my microphone. Oh, guys, it's been a minute since I've done a live. Okay, so Couple of the questions. How do you hear about these conferences in the creator space? This is from Eileen. Okay, so Eileen, I know, is dabbling in the content creator industry stuff, and honestly, it's word of mouth. And so I had heard about this through Joanna, and both of these conferences, by the way, nearly sell out. So one of the things with the conference I was just at, which I think was a bit of the issue, is it went from being a conference that would normally house 500 attendees and it jumped to 2,000 attendees. And I think it was experiencing some growing pains. My issue is that I appreciate when people take ownership of that. And I haven't heard anything from the creators where there's been like, hey, this didn't really go according to plan to everybody, or for everybody. And there was a lot of grumbly people at this conference. And I watched Fire Festival, and maybe there was some comparisons. No, there probably wasn't. But I just felt like, I don't know, I think if I was to create something, it would be like my baby, and I would want everybody to have or gain as much from it as possible. And I totally appreciate that you're not going to please everybody. That's like an unrealistic expectation, but I think that there needs to be some ownership there. And so that was maybe the part I was a little disappointed by. And I think I'm entitled to my opinion because I was a full paying customer. So, but in terms of like where you hear about this, it really is word of mouth. So Angeline, I believe you're out of the UK. So I'm not sure what takes place there, but I am noticing a trend where there are these 2 to 3 day conferences. I hear about them specifically in the States, and it has been through just connections that I have. A lot of them sell out really quick. So, you know, this Mom 2 Summit is a little bit luxurious. I love the people that I've met there. I love that I get to speak there. It's like this whole enjoyable thing for me. I love the party at the end where you get to get dressed up and dance. Like, it sounds silly, but I don't know, like, I work for myself. I don't get Christmas parties. I'm very social. I love meeting people. And so for me, it sort of ticks off all those boxes of what I like to do as a person in my workplace. But I have been noticing things like brunches and little breakfast gatherings for entrepreneurs and business owners and creators. So what I'm thinking is a good way to tap into that is, oh, for the love, is my phone gonna die? I might have to go get a cord here. I think a good thing to do is find, and it sounds kind of silly, but like local Facebook groups for entrepreneurs, especially female entrepreneurs. Like, I met a lot of business coaches who are hosting these really cool gatherings. So that could be a nice area to look into. DB was saying, gotta have my own room and independence if you go to them. Totally. So what I've learned is I like my independence. However, I do like having a roomie, because if, let's say, the conference isn't meeting my expectations, or I'm feeling a little homesick, if I'm by myself, I feel like it isolates me even more, and I don't like that. So I really enjoy having someone like Joanna, who, even though her and I are like completely opposite spectrums of what we like to get out of trips, we do meet in the middle quite a bit, but there's certain things she enjoys and certain things I enjoy, but it works. There's a respect there. And so, yeah, that's one thing I've learned. It's funny. I really thought I would prefer to be by myself, but I don't. I get a little lonely. It's Kiki Bird says, there's nothing wrong with some luxury. Totally. Like, you know, one of the things I really enjoyed about the Mom Summit, and I feel like this is like an advertisement for them, but it was very fun, is like they would do these room drops. And so there's obviously sponsors at conferences, because that's how a lot of this stuff happens and how a lot of the food is provided and that kind of thing. But they will do, like, you'll come back after your day and there'll be like a gift in your room that's from the conference. And I'm like, oh my God, that's such a nice little treat. You know, I've been to other conferences where it was hosted by, like, in a winery, and there's been wine in your room. I don't really drink a lot, but it's nice. You know, maybe you put a little bit in your cup and you go and you like go to the pool, or I don't know, you know what I mean? Like, it's it makes it like a fun vacation / work trip. Let's see. Yeah, it's Kiki Bird was saying, was it just a lack of planning or just event flaws? Like, it's tricky because so many people said really great things and a lot of people didn't say great things. But again, none of it's been addressed. So it's like the elephant in the room. It's a little bit awkward. But I will say, oh yeah, the pictures were great. Thank you. Oh God, I will just touch on it briefly, but I came home to like a complete shitstorm. Jack, so I got home on Friday, right? Friday evening. Jack had been throwing up on Thursday night. Friday, he threw up. I woke up to puke on Saturday morning in my bed. It was just like, holy moly, hold on, because it's gonna get real. And it did, and it was intense, and I nearly had like a breakdown on Saturday because it was just talk about switching gears. Oh shit, am I glitching again? Damn it. Yeah. Yes, Eileen, jumping from 500 to 200K is intense with the conference. It was, and there was certainly like, sorry, jumping back to the conference thing. I think there was like, I can see just from an outsider, like if I was in, creating this, wow, there'd be a lot of stuff. But I mean, the hotel, they ran out of coffee. I was like, what is going on? Like, how was there no coffee? The hotel took our reservation for dinner. And then when we showed up for dinner, they were like, oh no, we're not hosting dinner. And they didn't give a shit. Like it was a lot. I felt like it's okay. Let's just go out. Fortunately, we were in Palm Springs and there was some amazing places to go. And I'm so glad that they didn't have our reservation because we went out for Thai food and it was awesome. Yes. What else am I saying? Yeah, Eileen, no coffee and didn't care. Like, it was all these weird things. I had breakfast. It was cold one day. And I'm sorry, for like $30 US, I would like a warm breakfast. So there was a couple things. Yeah. And then what else? I just want to see if I missed any of the questions. Yeah. So that's kind of, okay. So I got a couple things and that's what I wanted to jump into because I did put in the title of this video, retreat plans. So one of the things that I was really hoping to get out of this conference was the sense of inspiration and creativity. I feel like 2019 is really the year for me to tap into my creative side. I will say that I finally have some merch. What? And I'm going to be dropping that little announcement very soon. So that's awesome. Like it's taken me forever. It's just something small. And I know that there's just a small pocket of you who might be interested in that. And so I'm like, well, let's just do this because I've been talking about it forever. So that's coming soon. I finally sat down and I did a little rebranding this year. You may have noticed that with the colors on my channel, this pink and yellow. And I feel like it really fits who I am. I've also changed the tagline. It's no longer like motherhood, beauty, lifestyle. It's always real because I feel like I speak about so much more than just motherhood. And so I changed that. And so by attending this conference, I was like, let's really hone in on what I'm curious about. And so I sat through this little session on a retreat. And I was like, oh my God, I should totally do a little retreat. So here's what I'm thinking. And you can leave me some comments if this is something you might be interested in. I also posted about this on Saturday on Instagram. But here's what I've realized. I very much enjoy meeting with people. I've always said that one of my superpowers is like basically collecting people and building communities. And like, I'm not scared to talk to people in real time. If I'm at Starbucks, I'll make a friend. Like, it's just kind of my nature. And I was like, I really like that. And then I've attended a couple of conferences, big ones, medium ones, and smaller ones, and realized I really like the smaller, intimate settings. I really like feeling as though you are heard and seen. You know, there's a certain like sharing element where you can really do like a brain swap with people if you're meeting on industry related things. And I was like, I really like that. Also, I really like to travel. So I went to this oasis, which by the way, it's like, you know, think about a cartoon. You're in the middle of the desert and then there's this like little palm tree area with water in it. I went to one of those and it was beautiful. And I really, really wanted to do something fun at this conference. And I was feeling a little bit discouraged because there wasn't like, I kept getting booted out of the sessions I wanted to attend. And I was just like, oh my God, why am I here? And so I finally just posted on the wall of this app that was part of the conference. And I posted a picture of the oasis and I was like, who wants to come with me? Let's split an Uber. It's about a 20-minute drive from where our hotel was. Well, lo and behold, it was like serendipity. 2 women responded. 1 woman had a car, and it was epic. And we all came together the next day, and there was 2 other women. So there was 5 of us all together. Go see my Instagram if you want to check that out, at AmandaMuse. My face hurt from smiling so much. It was just beautiful. I mean, the vlog, there's going to be a vlog on Thursday, and I have all the footage from it, and I can't wait to start editing this video. It was just like, it was stunning. And so all of that made me realize that, like, why not merge these 2 things? Why don't I merge this element of potentially meeting with a bunch of you, traveling, and really getting to, like, have that more intimate setting, you know, a couple days where women come together. And I really do feel like women and community, they go hand in hand. And for some reason, as much as we're connected online these days, we don't get to connect as often in real time. And so, yeah, so I'm pretty pumped about this. Let's see. So anyway, so that's what I'm thinking of, hosting this retreat where, you know, it'll be me and maybe like someone else that's in the area of where I'm going, and they can come in and offer a little workshop. We get to meet and greet, we get to visit, we get to connect as human beings, and I'm pretty excited about it. So that's what I'm working on there. So that was exciting. And so I think as much as, you know, you can be disappointed by the way that certain things took place at a conference, I also think that we're not sheep, you know, like we're not babies. I am a grown person, and I took advantage of where I was and the situation that I was in. And I was like, I'm going to take exactly what I need from this experience. I'm going to connect with friends that I don't get to see because they're spread out all over the US, because this conference is specific, you know, mostly in the US. And let's just take it, you know what I mean? And get inspired and go home feeling like I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. And here's what I'm going to create. And it was awesome. You know what I mean? So that was awesome. Yeah. So you guys are thinking this is awesome. Any ideas where? In terms of where I might want to host this retreat, I feel like I'd like to start in Canada because I am a Canadian. Now, that said, there's a lot of places to go. I got some really great recommendations on Instagram, but I'm leaning towards like Banff. I think that would be, I've never been to Lake Louise, which blows my mind because I feel like I've just hopped over it, but I would love to go to Banff. I think there would be some epic experiences we could have, maybe a little hike. I don't know. I know not everybody is adventure, you know, queen like me, but that's the thing. You don't have to participate if you didn't want to. You could also go for a massage, you know? So I think that I'm still obviously in the very early stages, but I like to be accountable. So by sharing with you guys my plans to a certain degree, I think this would just be awesome. Because, you know, people have said to me in the past, like, let Amanda do meet and greets. And I'm like, oh God, meet and greets? Like how? What? Yeah, where am I going to do that? You know what I mean? But this, I feel like, brings everything I love all in one cute little package. So exactly. Sadie says, have passport, will travel. Oh, Jessie, hey, she was saying Jessie, she's chatting with me right now, but she's someone I met at a conference, right? And it's like, well, I met her before, and then we finally met in real life at a conference. But these are the things. This is why I feel like finding ways to connect with people in real life is so important. Diana, oh, you're Spar in South Africa. Who knows? I am, you know, a couple of top places on my list is like, I'd love to go to London. I'd love to go to Utah. These are very random places, but I feel like I know a lot of people in these places. I'd love to go to Banff, maybe Whistler in BC, although I have been many times, but it's just so beautiful. So yeah, there's definitely like, I want to go to Chicago. Like there's some places I want to go. And I think that there's a way to do this, but I'm going to do it the right way. And I'm going to hire an event planner because that is not my forte. And it's going to be great. A touch of adventure, a touch of luxury, a touch of connection. I think it's like, so excited. Oh my God, Ireland, I would love to go. Like, yeah. Eileen, she says, yes, they're good physically. Hikes are good physically and spiritually, and it's your retreat. Do it how you want. Exactly. And I think that's the thing is like, I realize like, you know, to bring people together, especially like, maybe not all of my friends enjoy that element of adventure, but I really like it. And so why not seek out people who enjoy that too? And I think there's just so much fun we could have. Like anyways, so that's what I wanted to share was that sometimes these conferences, like they're not exactly I just want to make sure. I just realized my battery could die any moment on my phone, and that means the camera would die. Let's hope that doesn't happen. But anyway, I just think that that's the fun part about conferences. I feel like everyone's going to have their own opinion, but you meet people, you can make it your own. And I think that's the key, actually, coming down to like, if we sum it all up, is really recognizing like how important it is to have like, what is your intention for things? I think sometimes we can go into any experience and think like, we need to be entertained. It's just automatically all going to go our way. And that's not always true. So if you figure out what it is that you want from this, and from this particular conference, I wanted downtime, which I got. I sat by the pool. I went for a little hike. I met people. I felt like recharged. It was a little bit of blow to the system when I came back with Jack being so sick, and Dean is gone for an extended period of time. So it was a lot, but I still feel like it was good. You know what I mean? And I really enjoyed a lot of it. So that was awesome. Yeah. Ooh, Utah. I think I would love Utah too. It looks so beautiful. It really does. For the conference, any age? Yeah, I think it's definitely for women. So like, I don't want children or teenagers or anything. Like, this is for women to connect on all sorts of different levels, spiritually, business wise, like sharing in like intimate things about ourselves, like when you were a kid and you would have sleepovers and you would like connect with people and giggle and have fun. I want all of that, but for grown ass women, I think it'd be awesome. Yeah. Tofino. Oh, I love Tofino. That would be amazing. Totally. And Katie says, would I be out of place not being a mom or an entrepreneur? No, I don't think so. I think to me, it's not really entrepreneurial focus. Like, I'll tell you that I did this one session. Oh my gosh. Her name is Karen. Can't think of her last name right now. Oh, she was incredible. And she studied with Brene Brown. And so she had a lot of that Brene Brown sort of vibe going on. And we did a session on goals and how to like actually set a goal that you can achieve and all the steps. And it kind of blew my mind. And I was like, whoa, like it didn't have to be business related. It could be life related. But like, I've always said I'm not a very I've not been able to create proper goals or dreams. And I just realized I didn't have the tools. And so that's what I'm hoping by this kind of conference is bring people in who could share some like solid gold life advice. And then we can all walk away from it and use it in different ways. So it's not just moms, you know what I mean? Yeah, just being women with women. Exactly. Like, it's so important. Like, even my aunt, so side story, my aunt sent me a note just before I was leaving to go to Palm Springs. And she's like, she goes, so what are you doing on May 3rd? And I was like, I don't know. And she goes, well, I just got tickets to go see Michelle Obama. What? I was like, I don't care what I'm doing. I will be there with you. So we're doing like a little, I think it's in Montreal. So we're doing like a little one night or something in an Airbnb, and we're going to go have the best time. Yeah. What's happening here? Oh, sorry, Veronica. She said she was coming to the live and there was no alert. I also didn't really prep anyone for this live because life. But yeah, do you know what I mean? And I'm like, there are things in my past where maybe I would have been like, no, I can't go, or how am I going to find a babysitter? Well, this is one of those things where I said yes, and I will figure it out, because how often do two women who have children just get to be together, And I love my aunt and I love spending time with her, and Michelle Obama, like, yes. So sometimes you just got to say yes to stuff. Katie was saying, yes, perfect. That's what I'm craving. Totally. Yeah. Lindsay, Michelle, I would cancel anything to see her. Totally. So anyways, that's my little update. Was it all perfectly handled back at home while I was away? No. I did have the one phone call. Well, there was a couple where I was a little grumbly, but there was the one phone call from my husband when he said, you do quite a lot, and this is a lot to handle by myself. And I was like, can you say that again for the people in the back? Because sometimes one can feel a little underappreciated. If you're a mom, you know what I'm saying. But there's a lot that goes down to make sure this house runs relatively smoothly. And yeah, it was a lot. So, especially with one of the kids getting sick, it was kind of like a situation. So it wasn't perfect, and I was kind of mad on Saturday, but I've recovered because you can't have unrealistic expectations of your partner. Dean does many things that are amazing, and I do many things that are amazing, and those two things aren't always the same. So house is back on track, kids are back on track, laundry's folded. We will get there, but I don't want to, what is it? Contribute to this like idea that things are always perfect behind the scenes, because it ain't. And actually, if you watched Fire, what's it just called? Fire, right? It's about the Fire Festival, that shit show of a conference, music festival, whatever it was for millennials, like in 2017. Go watch it. It's it's like insane. But the one thing I took away, well, there's a few things, but the one main thing that I could relate like right now to my real life is that somebody who works in the space that I'm in, so being a content creator who partners with brands and has influence, such a weird word because we all have influence, but it really made me realize how important it is that I am conscious of who I share and what I share in my stories, on my feed. I've always been very selective with the brands that I work with, but I was thinking, ooh, if I'm posting about something, I'm essentially, it's like your money, you vote with your money. And I was like, I'm essentially supporting or endorsing whatever it is I'm talking about. So it just made me like hyper aware of that. And I was like, oh, we got to think about this, because I have attended events or enjoyed people or things that I'm not necessarily 100% a fan of, not brand partnerships, but like just social things. And so it made me realize like, one needs to be a little bit careful what they are endorsing, because it could be giving off the wrong message. And there's a really good reminder of that. So, Eileen says she's worried it will be so cringe. It was awkward, but it was almost a really good reminder of like what we're looking at online, how that impacts us, reasons why you should like clean out your Instagram feed every now and then, because sometimes what people are, feeding you is a bunch of garbage. It might be pretty, but it's probably garbage. And I'm like really trying to be aware of that and how that affects my mental health and how I feel about myself. And it was nice yesterday to take like some time off of the internet. Like I don't think my dad came by and I didn't go on stories very much and just kind of lived like a regular person, and it was lovely. So anyways, that's my little update. Yeah. Oh yeah, Veronica. A few days off and then a few days of madness and mess. Yes, that's essentially right. Oh, and the best part is Jack has P.S. Jack is getting his tonsils removed in July and his adenoids removed, and we're going to check about his ears. Like he gets sick all the time. He snores like he's got sleep apnea since day one. So there's like all these things, and I've been really like struggling with this because it's a lot for my baby. I'm like, I don't want to do it, but his doctors highly recommend it. I've had random encounters with people where this has just come up, and they very much like validated my feelings, but also given me a lot of confidence as to why this is a great idea. But the fact that Jack has been sick like 4 times in the past 2 months, like this poor baby, he needs to get these things out. He's got what I think is a carry-on ear infection. So he's got like a tummy ache. Anyway, so I go to take him to the clinic, and I don't have his health card because it's in Dean's wallet, and they're being such jerks about it, and they're making me pay like $100 because I don't have his card. I just have a picture of it, and then I have to get this money reimbursed. But let me tell you, I was so mad. I left the clinic. I was like, nope, not today. So hopefully I can get him in today or tomorrow. Like he's not suffering, but I kind of feel like this ear infection is still brewing. Oh, you guys, mom life, it never ends. Okay, that's it. I'm out of here. The lip color, this is something like Wet and Wild, and it's kind of frosty. It's a little bit out of my wheelhouse, but I'm going with it. So thanks for the love. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you're new. Check the links below if I put any. What am I going to put down there? Nothing. Podcast. Go listen to the podcast. Last week was a great episode I did with Dean, where we were just chatting. So if you haven't already, check out The Sandwich wherever you listen to podcasts. It's free. And Dean and I spoke about kind of the start of our relationship and like what drew each other to one another. It's a really fun conversation. And then this week, I teamed up with a girl while I was in Palm Springs. It was amazing. So it's very heavy on Thursday. No, Wednesday. Wednesday, you'll have a new episode. It was incredible. So, okay, that's it. All right, guys. I love all your faces. Have a wonderful week. I hope the sun is shining a little bit wherever you are. It snowed, but the sun is out, so I can deal. Okay, guys, I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.